extraordinary music.
What's going on, Masterclass family? This is your boy, Mr. Adams, bringing you a very special video today. I'm going to personally take the time and walk you through how I have my Thinkorswim software set up on my laptop and on my desktop. This is a question that I always get, and I know that I have the material in the Masterclass strategy guide, but I also know that seeing a video and seeing step by step makes it easier to set everything up in a more efficient time manner. So that's what we're going to do right now. You just downloaded your Thinkorswim software. You just logged in, and this is the first screen you see. And you don't know what to do. You don't know where to start. I get the frustration. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to the Charts tab. Right between Market, Watch, and Tools, you'll see Charts. Okay, here's a blank chart. First thing you're going to do is let's put in a symbol in this chart. Let's say Netflix. So we're going to put in Netflix. Then we're going to hit enter. It's going to pull up a chart. It's going to pull up a daily chart of Netflix. On this chart tab, we're going to make this chart our 5-minute chart. We do most of our entries off of the 5-minute chart. So we're going to come over to the D right here in between this wheel and this style. We click D and we're going to hit 5-minute, 5-day, right? Let me erase some of the things I have going on here on Netflix so that it's a bit more consistent with what you're going to see. All right, so this is a 5-minute chart on Netflix. The next thing that we want to do is we want to begin to add some of our studies that's on the 5-minute chart. So we go to studies here. We go to edit studies, and we're going to put in our moving averages. All of our moving averages are off of the legacy EMA. So you just type in legacy EMA. You double click it. And I want you to double click this about 4 times. And you're going to see 4 legacy EMAs, all with a 9. So we now have to change the 9s on a legacy EMA, okay? So you're going to go to this wheel here, and the first one, we're going to change this 9 to a 10. And we're going to make this legacy EMA, which is now the 10-day moving average, we'll make that yellow. The next legacy EMA, we're going to make that, let's say, purple. Oh, and we're going to change that to 20. My apologies. Next, we're going to do a 50 EMA. And we're going to change that 50 EMA to, let's say, a blue, for example. Hit OK. And next, we're going to do a 200 EMA. And we're going to change this to red. All of my 200-day moving averages on my charts are red. You can color code these however you want, okay? The next thing we want to add to the 5-minute studies is VWAP. VWAP, that's VWAP. Double click, open VWAP. We want to make sure that VWAP stands out. So we're going to change the color from purple to white. And let's make the width 2 so we can clearly see it. You're going to see upper band and lower band. I want you to click upper band. Click the show plot. Same thing for the lower band. Click show plot. That's going to remove some access lines off of the VWAP indicator that we really don't need. Next thing we're going to add is the daily high-low indicator. Type in daily high-low. Double click it. There we go. Nothing else to do there. We're also going to add in persons pivot points. Double click. Perfect. So these are all of the indicators that we have on the top of the 5-minute chart. Next, we're going to add the indicators for the bottom. such as the volume and the money flows. So we're going to add in chalk in money flow. There we go, CHAIKIN money flow. Under the chalk in money flow, we're going to hit the gear wheel and we're going to change the color to green. And where it says draw as, we're going to change that to histogram. Click OK. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the money flow oscillator. We're going to do the same thing with the money flow oscillator. Hit the gear wheel, change it to green, make it a histogram. Boom, we're done. So that's going to set up our dual money flow. Last but not least, we're going to add volume to this chart. So we type in volume average. We're looking for volume average, AVG. Double click that. We scroll down here to the right to make sure that it was added. Now we're going to click apply. We're going to see the chart change, okay? Now if I move this over, we're going to see that all of the indicators are making our chart a little bit bulky, so we're going to remove a couple things to kind of give us more screen space so that we can see. Before we do that, we're going to go to save as a set. And you're going to come in and you're going to say 5-minute study set. And then you're going to save it. Now you save this study set. So if you ever have to reload it, all you need to do is click studies, and I'll show you that when we go to the next chart. Click OK. To the left of the screen, there's an arrow right in the middle here that has another window or tab open. We're going to close that for now so that we can have more screen space. So now here's our 5-minute chart. On the bottom, there's an arrow here. If you click the arrow and select the hand, then you see things clearly, okay? Here you see the blue volume. This volume comes standard with the TD Ameritrade software. Volume is where people are buying and selling. We use the average volume indicator that we loaded, which is on the bottom of the screen under the dual money flow. Red value means people are selling. Green value means people are buying. And we're going to get rid of the blue value. We're going to do that by clicking the gear wheel here, chart settings. We're going to go to equities. Uncheck show volume subgraph, click apply, and OK, and there we go. The blue volume is gone, and now more stay. All right, so this is our primary screen. Up here in the left corner where you see Netflix, there's a chain link. I want you to hit that chain link and click number 1. Anytime you have a chain link set to a specific number, that's going to change every chart with that same number. It's going to link it together, thus allowing you to be efficient. So when you have various monitors and you're trying to see everything about a stock at the same time, you link all of the charts to one so you can see all of the different time frames, okay? If you would like to view multiple stocks on your chart screen, there's a square here, right under on demand. If you click the square, a window will open up that has a plethora of boxes. If you select all of the boxes, you get a bunch of charts. And if you want to monitor a lot of charts, this is the screen that you do it on, and you detach this screen and you can put it on a television so you can clearly see all of the charts on your watch list. You will have to manually go in and put in a stock for each individual chart that you have here. For now, we're going to bring it down to, let's say, just 4. But you can have as many as what appears to be, let's see, 8, 16, 20, 32 charts if you want to monitor that many charts, okay? So let's just say 4 for now, right? We'll put in Apple here. We'll put in Microsoft, and we will put in Google. So this allows us to look at 4 different stocks at the same time. What we have to do is put all of these charts on 5 minutes. So we're going to go to the D again. You're going to select 5-minute, 5-day for Apple. For Microsoft, you're going to select 5-minute, 5-day. And you're going to do the same thing with Google. Now, Because we saved the study set, we no longer have to rebuild all the study sets for the indicators. We simply go to studies, we go load studies, and we're going to look for 5-minute study set that you just saved. And that study set is going to appear. So you do that on each time frame. Load study, go to your 5-minute study set. Next thing you're going to do, click the gear wheel so that we can get rid of the blue volume. Equities, show volume subgraph. Okay, blue volume's gone. Now we can only see the money flow. Same thing, gear wheel, equities, show value subgraph. Okay, right here, gear wheel, equities, show value subgraph. There we go. So now we have our charts of the stocks that we want to watch. We have stocks that we want to watch on 4 different charts, allowing us to see what's going on with the individual stocks. And if we ever want to just zoom in on one stock, you go to the list button here on any one of the charts. This list where it says simple actions, click below and you'll see maximize sale. That allows you to see everything on just one stock. The arrow here in your top right corner, if you click it, it allows you to maneuver through each of those charts. If you would like to detach this and put this on a separate monitor or your TV screen, you come to the list, you select detach. So here we go, detach screen. This to any other by just clicking, holding down your mouse and moving around. There's our detach screen. Next, under the charts tab, we're going to go to flexible grid. Under flexible grid, we can use this to look at all of the higher time frames. So we're going to go to the box under on demand, click custom grid, and we're going to remove the box on the right side of the screen at the bottom by clicking this window button, and we're going to add one to the right top by clicking that button. We're going to link all of these to one. So everything on this screen should be linked to one. And you see how Netflix is automatically popping up. Okay. We're going to have one screen for the daily. So we'll keep it as the daily, meaning that every candlestick represents one day. Next, we're going to do the weekly. So 3-year, 1 week. We're going to do a monthly chart here. So we're going to have to go to time frame. We're going to go aggregation period, month, and we're going to go 20 years. And then here, we're going to click the day and change it to a 4 hour, all right? So now this allows us to see or do the multi-time frame analysis on Netflix before we enter to make sure that it looks good on all time frames, okay? But we have to do something important. All of these charts are cluttered with lines and highlights and volume. We need to get rid of all of this stuff on each individual chart. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the list button, click maximize screen. We're going to go to the gear wheel. Equities, remove show volume subgraph. Underneath you will see axis. Show extended hours. We're going to get rid of that. Then we're going to go to appearance. We're going to remove the grid line, and we're going to make this a darker color black. We're also going to go to time axis, and we're going to remove show rollover times, show expiration Friday, show year marking lines, okay? And one more thing we're going to remove is show corporate actions back under equities, okay? When I hit OK or apply, our chart will be cleaned up. Boom. You see that? Nice, pretty. We can see everything as clear as day. So now I'm just going to quickly go through the other 4 by clicking the other 3 by clicking the arrow here. I'm going to do the same thing. Gear wheel. I'll just be quick with it. You can follow along. Remove grid, black, time axis. Let's get rid of that. Show corporate actions. Clean chart. Takes you about a good 30 seconds. The good thing about this is once we complete it and we save our setup, we never have to worry about doing this again. Unless you get a brand new computer, then you would have to do it every time. Perfect. I'm going to do the one more, the weekly. Once again, equities, show value subgraph, parents, make it black, time axis, show rollover, and we should be good to go. Now, let's restore our sales and look at it now. Now you see how we can see all of our charts much better. To remove this sidebar box, we're going to go to the square here, grid actions, uncheck the custom grid. Now we can see all of our charts. And anytime that we put a symbol here, it's going to change everything. Okay. And if you ever want to zoom in, you simply hit the arrow, select the hand to pan for each. So once again, we use the flexible grid just to take a quick look at all of the different time frames. And we're also going to do the same when I talk about the active trader tab. The next thing we want to do here is we want to add some moving averages onto each of these charts. Okay. And the way that we're going to do that is going back to studies, but instead of editing studies, we're going to load the study that we created for the 5-minute. We're going to load the 5-minute study. That looks right. So we're going to go back to studies. We're going to go to edit studies, and we're going to take some things off. So we're going to take off the daily high-low indicator. We're going to take off the pivot point indicator. We're also going to remove the chalk and money flow and the money flow oscillator. And we're going to remove the VWAP as well. We're going to add one more moving average. Type legacy. We're going to make this the 100-day moving average. And we're going to make that green. Click OK. Hit apply. It cleans up that screen for us. Okay. So now we're going to save this study set as the daily chart. Or you can say high time frame chart. Save it. Hit OK. And now all you have to do is go to studies again, load studies, setup, find high time frame chart, and load it on each. It saves you a ton of work. Easy. Voila. So now on every time frame, we have the moving averages and volume, thus helping us get perspective. Okay. Now, one thing that I like to do on the daily chart, I like to maximize it. And in the top right, there's a button that says patterns. If you hit patterns, show patterns is selected. Hit select patterns. And you can go through and you can select by double clicking each of these candlestick patterns. So if you don't want to draw your own trend lines, if you want the computer to find the opportunity for you, you can preset the patterns, click apply, and then what will happen is the computer will plot patterns. Now on this screen, the lines are going to be crazy. There's going to be all type of patterns. The only thing that you're focused on is the most recent pattern. So you zoom in to what's going on today, you find a pattern trend line, you hover over it, and when you click, it will show you that this is a pennant. So you know in advance what type of chart pattern you'll have. If you want, you can detach this screen as well and put it on another monitor. You can blow it up to maximize sales so that the daily chart with the chart patterns is the only thing that you see. And if you would like to remove the moving averages off of it, you simply go to studies, remove all studies. Now you have a naked chart. Simply again, you can use the chart patterns tools if you do not want to manually draw and identify the chart patterns yourself, or you can choose the specific ones. So for example, you can remove all and you can just put in find channel down and double bottom, only those two, hit apply. It will remove all of the other patterns. Okay. While I'm on the screen, the other thing that I'll show you is how to use the drawing tool to draw trend lines. So if you click drawings here, go to drawing tools. One that I use all the time is the horizontal dollar sign, price level line. So this is for drawing support and resistance. So let's say if I believe for Apple 150 is support, I just come here, double click, and it draws a line for me. And if I right click on the line, I can hit extend to the left and it draws that price level line straight for me. If I want to draw my own trend line, I go back to drawing tools. I select the diagonal trend line. I find a point where I want to start the trend line. I click it. I drag it up. I click it when I'm finished. That's how you draw your own trend lines if you desire to draw a trend line. To erase a trend line, click Drawings, Remove Drawings, Clear Drawing Set, click OK. So that's how we set up everything on our under the Charts tab. I'm going to restore it. So I have my 4. And once again, this allows me to see everything that's going on with the stock on all time frames so that I can make a great decision. So we have our primary 5-minute chart window that we use. This is for monitoring the stock that we're looking at entering. Then we're able to take a quick look at all of the different time frames to see if we want to enter the stock here in this position. Next, we will talk about the Active Trader tab. All right, so now that we have the charts tab set up and you know how to set up multiple charts, individual charts, and charts for different time frames under the charts tab, we're going to set up the Active Trader. In the Active Trader, you find a Trade tab. Click the Trade tab, you will see Active Trader. Now, we also use the Active Trader as our primary tool for multi-time frame analysis. So now I'm going to work you through how to set up the Active Trader tab. This is also the one that I use to find 5-to-1 setups because of the indicators that I have on the 30-minute chart and the 1-hour chart, or you can do a 1-hour chart and a 4-hour chart. Either way is perfectly fine. So with the Active Trader, we want to go to this box under On Demand, and we want to select 4 squares, okay? Once you select 4 squares, first thing you want to do is link everything to 1. As I mentioned earlier, when you have everything linked to 1, every time you add a new stock ticker is going to change all of your screens at the same time, thus making it easier for you to manage what's going on. Next thing we have to do is we need to begin to clean up the charts, okay? So we're going to go to the list button of each. We're going to maximize the cell so we can see it. And we're going to unclick Active Trader so we can solely see the chart, okay? Only one chart should be selected. Hit the arrow to the right, remove Active Trader, select one chart. Hit the arrow to the right, remove Active Trader, one chart. Arrow to the right, remove Active Trader, select one chart. Next, we're going to restore all of our cells. This looks just like what we did on the flexible grid. So pretty much the same thing, okay? So going back to Active Trader, we want to put one, the top left. Let's say we put that on a 1-hour chart. On the bottom, we're going to put that on the 4-hour chart. And I'm doing this next to the style. We're going to have a daily here, so we don't have to make any adjustments there. And on the bottom, you have a choice. You can either put it on a weekly chart, or how I have it on mine, I have the news here. And I uncheck chart. So I have the news. News is very important because if there's catalyst or some type of developing story about a stock, we need to know that ASAP, because if there's news about a stock, that stock is going to have more action, more eyes on it, thus more volatility than the rest of the stocks, okay? So it's always important to take a look at the news to see what's going on. Once again, if I would Facebook here, everything changes to Facebook and I can see all of the news about Facebook instantly. If I were to Twitter. I can see all of the news about Twitter, okay? So we want to now go in like we did before. We want to clean up all of the charts. So we're going to the gear wheel once again. Once again, it's tedious, but it's going to clean everything up for us. Remove the volume, remove corporate actions. On this chart, we are going to simply remove highlighted extended trading hours. We're going to keep the show extended trading hours, just remove the highlight. Appearance, we can make it black. I'm going to get rid of the grid and get rid of the lines here. Apply, clean chart. On the 4-hour chart, equities, same thing we did before. We're just getting rid of the highlight this time though. Appearance, remove the grid. We're making it black. Time axis. Apply, boom. Beautiful chart. Last but not least, we're going to go to the daily, the gear wheel, equities, show volume subgraph, remove the highlight, remove the corporate actions, appearance, and the time axis. Apply. Done. Okay, so now we have the charts cleaned up. Let me remove some drawings on Apple. All right, I'm sorry, Twitter. All right, so now we have naked charts for Twitter. Next thing we need to do is add the indicators. So we've already built the daily setup for indicators. So you go to studies for your daily chart, load study setup. You find the one that you created for daily, or it was high time frame chart. Select it, and there go your moving averages. So that's already there in place for you. Simple. We're going to do the same thing here on the 1 hour. Okay. We're going to go to the high time frame chart, but we're going to do something different here. We're going to go to studies. We're going to edit. Next, we want to add the Ichimoku cloud. So I just put in ICH to get the cloud up. When you get the cloud up, hit the gear wheel, and you want to uncheck the show plot for the Tekken, the Cajun, and the Chico. Okay, you only want to keep the show plot for the span A and span B. Okay, apply, hit apply. Now we have a clean cloud without a bunch of extras. Okay, the next thing that we want to add on the 1 hour chart, you want to go back to studies, and we want to add TTM squeeze. We want to know if the stock is consolidating. Double click TTM squeeze. We can remove the volume average from there as well. Click apply. This time we want to save this as the 1 hour chart. Save. Okay. If you don't see the TTM squeeze, that's because it may not be enough room on your monitor. You can go to the middle lines here, drag it down, and there you go if you want to see it. Okay. Remember, if it's red, that means that it's squeezing. For the 4 hour chart, you want to go to studies. You want to find the 1 hour chart that you just created. It's the 1 hour setup that you want to add. I believe I did that under 1 hour. Click 1 hour, and there you go. You don't have to do anything else. This will complete the active trader tab. Everything is linked to one. Okay. Next thing I want to show you how to do is how to efficiently work with this particular tab when you're using your scans. So remember that window that I told you to close on the left, this small arrow here? I want you to open that up. Here is where your scans are going to run. You're going to use this to find your scans at night as part of the 20 scans that's in the code of execution package, and your intraday scans. So where it says watch list, you're going to click the watch list button, and you're going to go to personal. You have a list of scans and watch lists, and I'll show you how to create those in other videos, and I'll show you how to do your watch list in this video. But let's say I have my dual money flow scan. If I click dual money flow, it's going to scan for stocks that have dual money flow. And I can put as many scans as I want here to see if anything is developing, okay? And I want to link my scans to one. Why? Because if I link my scan to one, and if I click C, Citigroup, you see how it changes my chart? so I can quickly see what's going on with Microsoft. Even if I go back to Flexible Grid, every time I click a stock, I can instantly see what's going on, thus making me very efficient. The only thing that I'll have to do is just zoom in on the chart so I can see things a little bit clearer, right? So you run all of your scans from this sidebar here. And even if you don't want to run a scan, you can also run just a regular watch list. So let's say if I have 100 to a million watch lists, here are all of my stocks on my watch list. So if I want to quickly see if my ideal setup, let's say if there's a gold married or a silver setup, I want to find one quickly. I go to my watch list, I click. I'll have to put the one here. My apologies. Link it. There we go. There's Chipotle. And I could just tab my way down to quickly find opportunities. I'm looking for instant setups. Okay. So this is what this toolbar does on the side. And we use it primarily on the active trader just to see if something is making sense on all time frames, especially when we're looking for a 5-to-1 setup. The list button here has a bunch of different gadgets in here. When you go to switch gadgets, you can add a chart and you can put in all of the same chart settings here if you want to just quickly look at a 5-minute chart before you go to your primary 5-minute chart to see if something worthwhile. And you just go in, you would you have to expand this some so that you can see the gear wheel in order to clean up the chart settings as we have before. And then you can add your studies like we did before. If you want to add your 5-minute study setup, or if you just want to have, let's say, your moving averages, you can add what you did with the high time frame. And this allows you to quick at a 5-minute chart, look at the other charts simultaneously. Okay. Once again, this makes life very efficient for you. And this is really great if you're just using a laptop and you don't have various screens like I do. I have a 50-inch television and then 4 other monitors. But when I'm out and about, this is how I primarily function using my cell phone and just my laptop. And I can quickly maneuver between all of my different screens using my scans and my chart setups to go through things. Okay. You can, under the switch gadget, you can add times and sales. What times and sales does, it shows you real money coming to the stock on about how many stocks have been purchased, or you can just simply have everything on a watch list. Okay, there's also a Trader TV. So anything you want to play around with here in this box, feel free to do so. Okay. Trader TV takes a little bit to load, so it's probably going to freeze my program. Next thing I'm going to talk to you about is setting up your watch list. There's Trader TV, all right? So I can play it if I want, but I'm not going to do so. I'm going to just simply put this on the watch list. And I'm going to have 4 different watch lists running my scans here. So I'm just going to select some random scans just so you can get a feel for how my system is set up. If you're intraday trading, your scans will be finding opportunities for you every 5 minutes. If you're swing trading, then you'll be doing your scans at night looking for opportunities. And you see the computer is doing all of the work for me. I don't have to scan for anything. I just allow the computer to find my criteria, and I use my active trader to quickly tab through to find opportunities. Let me link this to one. All of your scans have to be linked to one just to make it efficient for you. And once again, I can tab through. Okay. So now let's go to a watch list. It's under Market Watch. Okay. So to create a watch list, you're probably not going to have anything there. So I'll demonstrate creating a new watch list for you. You name it, and I'll just say your watch list. Okay. And you just start typing in the symbols. So we'll put Apple. And we'll click save. There we go. And now I can add in all of the rest. We can say BA, we can say Netflix, we can say Baba, and we can say McDonald's. So let's say these are your top 5 stocks, okay? There we go. And if you want to add your watch list to the side here, you go to personal and you find the watch list that you just created. Let's see if I can find it. There we go. Your watch list. There go the stocks that we just put in, and we can quickly take a look at each of those visual charts. Okay? Or use the watch list that I sent you. You just take the link, you go to setup, application settings, open shared item, and you copy the link there, and then it will open up the watch list for you, and you just save it, and you pick the stocks that you want to choose. To add your watch list to a scan, you go to scan. Here where it says scan in, you find your watch list, select it, and then you create your scan here as you will learn in a custom scanning video. Or once again, you go to setup, open shared items, you paste the link for the scans that I've created, and then save it under the name that you want to have it saved under. And you can load your scans by clicking this link here, and this is where you can find all of your different scans. So let's say if I come here and I say Masterclass Squeeze, and I want to have the Masterclass Squeeze running off of my new Your Watch list. Simply scan it. There's no opportunities there. Okay. But if I were to run this under a bigger watch list, so let's say my Masterclass watch list or my master list, let's see if I can find any results. The market was volatile today, so it's not finding anything for me. So let's load another scan and see if something is pulling from someplace else. I'm confident if I run one on money flow, we'll find something. Okay, scan. There we go. So under this particular watch list that I have, it found 4 stocks that has negative money flow, right? And if I were to come here, and if I were to go to negative money flow or bearish dual money flow, there go the same stocks. Once again, I just go to my active trader. I can tap them, see if I like it, really like it. I go to charts. I review my main 5-minute chart. I simply maximize it, or it's already detached, and I tap through each, and I'm looking for an opportunity that really suits my interest. So that's how we set up the watch list. That's how you input your scans. That's how you have your scans running for you on the side. Next thing I'm going to show you is operating your options chain. All right, so now we're going to work on the options chain. This is where you're actually going to place your orders and identify how much contracts actually cost. So that's going to be under the trade tab. You go to all products. Okay. First thing you want to do when you go to the options chain, under all products, click the link for one. And that's going to put in the video because that's the last stock that we had selected if you look over here to this window, right? So the options chain is showing you all of the different contracts we can purchase. We trade weekly options primarily, so we're going to select this week's options. But if we want to go further out, we can buy options for April, May, June, September, all the way into next year, okay? So this is our options chain. Once again, think of the options chain as your order menu. And if you have a watch list up here, click stock, you can quickly see what's going on with each individual stock and how much their contracts cost. If you have multiple monitors, it's best that you have the options chain by itself so that you can quickly see price. And you would do that by going to the list over here, clicking detach, and you can detach options chain as well, okay? So it's very efficient to have it on a separate screen if you're using multiple monitors. If not, it's perfectly okay. So let's get our options chain squared away. Here, first let's close this window. All right, now we have more real estate. So under layout, click the layout button. There's going to be a drop down. We're going to go to customize. So on the bottom, you see what I have. I have last X, percentage change, open, low, high, delta, open interest, and volume. Remember those things. You may want to write those down because you're going to put those in, okay? So you go to click customize, and all of those things that you just saw, you type in here. Let's say open, for example. Double click it. Let's say high. Double click it, okay? And all of the rest of them. You hit OK. and they're going to pop up here. So what I'm going to do is just I'm going to load the ones I already have and that I saved. Once you create the set of criteria for what you want to find on the options chain, you just save as and you just save it, okay? So I'm going to load what I already have. This is the one that I typically use. And I make a lot of my decisions off of the last price based off the bid and the ask price. These two here being tied together for both your calls. Your calls are on the left. Your puts are on the right, okay? It's currently on 4 strikes. I like to have it typically around 10, so I can see 10 different strike prices for a stock based on the ATR. Refer to the ATR in the study guide, okay? When I want to place an order, I can simply go to the ask price of, let's say, the 255 calls on Goldman Sachs. I right-click it. It's going to open up a buy window. When I go to buy, I can hit buy single, and it's going. If I hit single, it's going to pull up an order menu for me. Okay. So here's my buy window. There is a video about doing custom orders, but just to give you a quick rundown, here is right now we're at buy 10 contracts. If we click this value in units, we can put a specific dollar amount. So we can say $1,000, and we can do at a specific price that we want to pay for the contracts, or we can click limit, choose market. If we were to confirm and send this, that would get us into the trade automatically if we just want to get in. If you want to purchase it at a certain price based on the stock, you go to this gear wheel box to your right, select that, it's going to pop up a window, right? On this window, you're going to see conditions. You're going to drag your mouse underneath the symbol. You're going to click, you'll see Goldman Sachs. You'll see method. You put the method at mark, and then you'll put in the price that you want to pay. So let's say if you want Goldman Sachs to be under at $250 per share. You put $250 per share, and you select less than or equal to. If you want to buy calls, and it's assuming that you're buying calls at a support level. If you want to buy puts, and you want to buy your puts at a resistance level, you would say greater than or equal to, okay? And then you would save it. Once you save it, it will place an order only when the stock hits a certain price. If you want to have it based off of a study, you can go down to study, click edit. You can change your condition to, let's say, a 5-minute chart, and you can use a moving average. So you can say, click price, when, say, the close price, period, let's say 5 minutes. Let's say the 5-minute closing price of a candlestick is greater than, and we'll put in a moving average, for example. Let's say MA. Oh, let's type in simple moving average. Hopefully something, there we go, simple moving average. Let's say we want to wait for the stock price to close over the 20-day simple moving average on a 5-minute chart, okay? We hit save. Okay, so now the contracts that we're going to purchase, they will only execute if the stock price closed above the 20 simple moving average. If we don't want to use the moving average or a study, then we can simply use mark, and we can preset the price once again at, let's say, 250. Hit save. We can confirm order. Okay. Now, if you like that custom order based on a certain amount, you can click this save button here next to delete. You can save a custom order. If you want to fully automate your process, let's delete this order. Let's go back, and we're going to right click. The strike price we want to purchase at 255. We're going to say buy custom, and we're going to say with OCO bracket. And down here you can see different custom orders that I've created for myself. So you click OCO bracket. This is where you build out your custom buy order, and you build out both of your sell orders. One will be for a sell target, and one will also be for a stop loss protection. Once you build out your custom order, however you see fit, just refer to the code of execution on how you want to preset this. And I also did a separate video on creating custom orders. You can save it as your custom order. And once you save it, anytime you want to purchase a contract, let's say you buy Facebook and you want to buy the 170 Facebook calls, you go to buy custom, you find your custom order, it preloads everything for you, you send it, it's going to confirm, and it'll automatically place your order for you, and everything will take care of itself once the order is actually executed. So that's how we primarily use the options chain. Another feature of the options chain that I use, if you scroll to the bottom, is going to be today's statistics. This allows me to see how many people are buying calls and puts. So right now I know there is an equilibrium between the people that's buying calls and puts on Facebook. If I would have put in another stock such as the SPY, I'd give me one moment here. I can see that there are 3.2 million puts being purchased in comparison to 1.7 million calls. This lets me know that this market is on the way down. If I want to get more information, I can go to options, times, and sales, and it's going to show me all of the contracts that are being purchased. If give me a bias on who's buying what. So, for example, today somebody bought 22,000 puts. If I come to this funnel to the right, it should open. There we go. I can segregate certain things. So let's say I only want to see where 500 contracts have been purchased. I can put in 500. Now the system is going to pre-screen 500 for me. It's taking its time right now. It should segregate it for me based on 500. There we go. And let's say if I want to do certain weeks, I could just click the weeks and it would segregate the different strikes for me to let me know if this is recent activity, okay? So now I can see all of the contract purchases that went through today for contract sizes over 500 to give me an idea on if people are buying more calls or puts to let me know if the direction I'm looking at buying, if I'm right or not. So this is how we set up our options chain, and the options chain is our order menu where we buy and sell the ops contracts. So you can click on the ask for calls and the ask for puts. So if you want to buy the 85 puts, right click, you can go buy a custom, find your order, your custom order presets, you send it, and then you just wait for your order to execute. So that's how we use the options chain. So I've shown you how to set up your basic flip chart, how you can have up to 32 charts on a bigger screen, or if you want to monitor your top 12, your top 5, or your top 4, just one. I've showed you how to do that with the charts. You have your flexible grid here, where you can take a look at all of the different time frame. This is really good for scanning. You can hit the window here on your left to quickly scan through all the time frames under the flexible grid to see what looks good. And you can also do the same, the Trader tab as well. Under all products is where you're going to find your options chain. That's where you're going to place your orders. One thing that I do want to bring to your attention, what I typically like to have on my charts is I like to detach a screen, create an extra. My charts are completely naked. So I'll go to studies, I'll remove all studies, and I'll look at a completely naked chart. And when I look at a naked chart, I'll clean everything off of it. I don't want to see anything. I don't need any distractions whatsoever because I want to be able to clearly see price action on a naked chart. So I can see where people are actually buying and selling, because sometimes indicators can be a distraction from what's really going on. And then when markets are really volatile, indicators are not respected. So when I remove everything on the chart, I can clearly see support and resistance levels. So using the video as an example, if I were to zoom in a little bit, I can now see where NVIDIA has had pivots. So this 221 for NVIDIA was a huge pivot, right? So that could be one starting level for me here. I can see here at 236.89. The video was a huge pivot area. So I can use that as a zone as well to where people are likely to buy once the stock falls to this price. I can see that when the video hit around the $250 price range, 252, that's a resistance. So now I'm able to create zones. And let's say I want to create an alert at this level. So what I'll do here is I'll find a level I want to set the alert. I will right click, create alert. I can say alert me when the stock is above or below a certain price level. Okay, create the alert, and there it goes. Speaking of alerts, I want to show you how to have your alerts come directly to your phone. So you want to go to Setup, Application Settings. You want to go to Notifications. Then you want to put in your information. So for example, let's say your phone number is 757-675-8899. Yes, I understand. Get a confirmation code. It's going to send you a confirmation code. Or you can put in the email. You can use both. Once you apply these settings, let's see here. Once you put in a confirmation code, apply settings, every time your alert goes off, it will send you a text directly to your phone or to your email, so that way you don't miss anything. So we have automated scans. We have alerts that come directly to our phone. We have the ability to automate our orders in advance. For example, if I see using the naked chart that I've just drawn that I want to buy NVIDIA when the stock price fall to 238.60, then I will go to my order screen for my options contract on NVIDIA, and let's say I want to buy the 240 calls. I'm going to go to my buy custom, preload my custom order. I'll manually go into the gear wheel here, and I'm going to say buy NVIDIA when the price is at 236 or below. Save. I'm going to send that order off, and the moment that NVIDIA stock hits this price level of 238 to 236, so right around here, it's going to fill my order automatically, and there's going to be a trail stop built into that order. So just to give you a quick idea of what the stops look like, for your exits, when you click the limit, you can do a market stop. You can sell with a market that's going to get you out ASAP. You can put a specific price of what you want to sell your contracts for, or you can do it based on a percentage. So you can say sell 100% of your contracts. And if you click, I believe, give me 1 second, it gets a little tricky sometime here. There we go. You can change it to percentage. You can say when you reach 100% profit on your contracts to sell automatically. And then here, you can put in your trail stop. You could change your trail stop to percentage to 25%. So in this scenario, once our order is executed, we're going to have our contracts being trailed at 25%. So the most we can lose is 25%. But the moment that we double our money is going to sell 100% of our position automatically, and we don't have to do anything. So that's the power of automating the orders. So you know how to use the charts. You know how to do multiple charts. You know how to detach your screens. You know how to create a naked chart. You know how to set up multiple time frames, whether you're on a flexible grid or the active trader. You know how to use the options chain, option statistics, and see what's going on with puts and calls. You know how to upload the scans that I sent you. You know how to scan. You know how to load those scans in this right column here that you can open and close depending on if you're just using your laptop or your entire computer system. You know how to set alerts and have them come directly to your phone, and how to upload links that I've sent you through the open shared item. That's pretty much about it, folks. That's all that we use. So I suggest that you take time, play around with the software, configure it to your liking, get familiar with it, never stop learning. and use it to your advantage. Masterclass. Dominate.